Channel, and there's more movement in the Manchester United transfer window with Leny Yoro set for a medical in Manchester later today. Get involved in the chat, everyone, because we want to know your opinions and we'll try and discuss them throughout today's video. First of all, your reaction to this breaking news?
Well, the reaction is he's flying over to Manchester today, get a medical, hopefully in a couple of days. They'll get his signature, but I've got to just turn around and say the men in the suits behind the scenes have done the jobs well, really done the jobs well. They've had 3 centre-halves lined up. This is the one they're going for. They agreed the fee last week. Problem, Yoro was just looking because Real Madrid were hanging around. And fair play to the kid. Real Madrid are hanging around. You hang around. Now he's flying over here and you can't knock the kid for that. You know what I mean? Real Madrid, 18, flying. He's 18 years of age and Real Madrid are flying around. But the Manchester United law has got him over here and you can't argue with that. Good potential in this lad.
With you mentioning Real Madrid, it has been reported as well from Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano that they have been notified that Yoro is set to fly for a medical here in Manchester. So we might see some movement from Real Madrid. Fingers crossed, you know, the deal actually gets completed soon as possible. Yeah. I think we might go to the airport after this and wait for him ourselves and put our foot down, get him to that training ground for the medical.
Yeah. We're not too far from the airport, so we could do that. No, Real Madrid. Will they come in? Will they scupper the deal? I don't think so. I think things here now. Yoro's coming here. He's going to talk personal terms. And I think his agent, everyone else, the club, all looking forward to this. I don't think he'd come over here and waste anyone's time. But, like you say, you've got to keep your fingers crossed with this kid. And what I do I like the potential. And I also look at him and think, will this kid go straight in? Straight in the side, and I think he's got capabilities of going straight in this side. Will United look for another centre-half? It's a preference what we want. I'm not too sure out there if you think another centre-half's needed, but I strongly believe another centre-half's needed. So competition is what you want. He's 18. At the end of the day, I think he'll go straight in no matter what happens, getting somebody else. Branthwaite, Ligt, possibilities. But the suits, they've done the job well. It's not like the old days here.
No, it's not.
It's not like the old days. And what you have to turn around and say, it's not the end of the transfer window. Late buy, late panic purchase. That's good to see. And at the end of the day, when you do look at it, we've got a centre-half. All the potential's there. Yeah. All the people talk about him being a really, really good player. And he's got everything there and so he should slot into United. But you also got to look at, we've got a centre-forward in. So that's good. Centre forward, centre halves, that's what we was talking about. And there's possibilities of midfield players. So
they were the 2 priority signings. Well, for me and you, I don't know about you out there, that getting a centre forward in and a centre back, maybe 2. Let's see how the transfer window develops until it closes. But, you know, the mean business, like you say, you know, you're scratching your head sometimes, banging your head on the wall thinking, is this my football club? Because of what we've been used to, slow negotiations in the past, wait until the end of the transfer window. And INEOS here, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and all the team here at United are acting quick.
Yeah, they're acting quick. But I also think Lille are acting quick because they've got 1 year. He's got 1 year, Yoro, on his contract left. So they wanted him selling, and United have come in and they put the right money in for him. And I just look at it. Will more sales come? Will we get a midfielder? Will we get another centre-half? And I think, by all reports, it's all down to getting people out and bringing money in.
Well, that's the thing we've got to wait and see as well. A lot of people on the channel throughout last season, coming into the transfer window, talking about that word, using the word deadwood here at Manchester United. Yeah. So let's see how competent they are and how good they are in getting some of these players out. Who we all mentioned the same names, who are on the fringes of the actual Man United squad. So let's see if they can start getting people out the door, and that could result in more players coming in as well.
Yeah, well,
freeing up space.
I look at it. I think if I'm wrong, just let us know in the comments. I think the initial fee is 42 million and it rises up further about another 10 million depending on appearances and whatever he achieves at Manchester United. So you've got to look at getting some of this deadwood out, and that's what I call it, deadwood. Okay, we're on the change here. We've had 6 months of change with INEOS, and the way they're doing this and the way they're looking at players, change is coming. So let's hope they can get this deadwood out. But it seems tough at the moment, because if you get another 40-50 million pound in, we can go out easily and get another centre half, or just go and get that midfield player, which a midfield player is needed. Add it to a centre forward, centre half, maybe 2 centre halves and a midfield player. What can you argue with there?
The thing is, if you in Yoro's camp as well, surely you're telling him, looking at the two clubs as well, Real Madrid, Manchester United, where you're possibly going to get the more game time.
Yes, that's a point.
I'm
Good
not
point.
too clued up who are the first choice centre halves over at Real Madrid, but you've got Rudiger there, you've got Militao, Nacho. I think he's left as he retired, something like that. But you would think you'd get more game time here at Manchester United next season because of the need for a quality centre half.
Yeah,
he is that, and bags of potential there as well.
Yeah, when you look at young players like Yoro, and you've seen it with Bellingham when he was younger. He wanted to go over to Dortmund because he was guaranteed more game time and that. And many other young players have sort of gone where I'm getting game time, wants to play football. The good thing is, I don't think this kid's got a chip on his shoulder. Okay, I just see him as like he wants football. I've done a couple of clips on him. He sort of sits back, looks for the ball coming to him, plays it nice and easy and all that. Yeah. So he's got an head on his shoulder. I don't see an attitude with him, and he wants the football. So coming to Manchester United over Real Madrid, yes, I definitely think he'll get more game time here. He might not get all the game, he might not be number one, but he'll get 30, 40 games out of him in the first year, if maybe more, depending if we get another centre half. And my choice here is we definitely got to get another centre half, and he's lined up. The Suits have got another one lined up. It's whether will they pull the trigger to add to Yoro, and I think they should.
Yeah, obviously Lille want to push this transfer through to Manchester United because we're offering more money than actually Real Madrid.
Yeah.
There has been some reports out there that, I think it was from Fabrizio Romano, but, if I'm wrong, let me know, that he is set to get a huge deal here, though, at Manchester United with wages. But, I don't see that the main reason he'd be coming here to United, surely.
No, I don't think so.
Because we've had that in the past. Yeah. I've got to throw that in there, being devil's advocate. A young lad coming to Manchester United, huge wages. It has been a problem now and again with some of the buyers that we've had, and some of them are still currently in the squad. Yeah,
well, when you look at reports like that, people throw words out like huge wages. Well, what's huge wages compared to someone what's at Lille who's 18? We've seen kids come out of the academy, go further up, and then put into the squad, and then suddenly they're huge wages. They're on £100,000 when they were only on like £15,000, £20,000. So that's a huge jump. And I expect exactly the same. And it'll be like staggered, his wages, depending on what he does, and quite rightly so. But huge wages, I don't think these huge wages got to be paid out here at Manchester United to new players unless they actually achieve anything. And that's been the problem with young players here at Manchester United. They've given them all the money. Well, once you've got all the money, what tends to happen is that enthusiasm, that desire to go out there and do your job proper and achieve things goes, because the money seems to take over. Yeah. That's what we've got. And I don't think this kid will be given huge wages, as you've just said, but huge wages to us.
It should be like how it used to be under Sir Alex Ferguson. You come here, you get your pay packet, and the money will come if you perform on the pitch. And, with Xerxes, we've just signed, it's been reported that he's collecting 56 grand a week, whereas maybe under previous regimes, it'd have been well over that 100 grand a week mark. So for me, this young lad coming in, 18 years of age, would you expect him to be on roughly that kind of amount of money? So hopefully he's going to come here, hit the ground running as well, because it will be a huge task for him as well, adapting from the French League to the Premier League as well. Young lad, but, fingers crossed for him, and I'm really, really excited to see how he gets on next season.
Yeah, you talk about Xerxes there and his wages, that might be huge wages to him. Okay, so when you look at like someone coming out with is on huge wages, I don't believe INEOS are going to give out huge wages. I just don't see it at all. I think they're just giving out level-headed contracts to players who are young, and that's what they're targeting. INEOS want people to do the work, and once you've done the work, you get your rewards, and that's how it should be. Unfortunately, football, the world, isn't like that anymore.
Yeah, Cass says we're building a core of very exciting young players. The future looks bright.
Well, it does look bright, and the potential there going forward, and the expectations, right, is bright. a bright future. That's what INEOS keep talking about. They keep talking about it's 3 years. We want to be there in 3 years, challenging, winning things. And at the end of the day, these kids, 18, 19, 20, what they're targeting, what come in, the end of the day, they'll have the experience and they should have the competitiveness to get in there with the right players alongside him. And when you look at the right players alongside him, Martinez, right alongside this Euro, I'm telling you, the kid can't get any better. He's got a warrior next to him, and that warrior will step forward, okay, where he'll be able to watch the game as well.
But also feel confident himself, where even whether it's Yoro or Martinez stepping into midfield when they need to, they've got someone who's capable behind him, got pace, can tackle, can defend as well.
Yeah, well,
and that'll also give confidence to the goalkeeper as well. We've talked about it before, having a stable back four going into this new season, and it probably might help Andrea Nana as well.
I don't think it might help. It will help.
Yeah, good job.
We need a stable back four. So that's why I'm saying we need another centre-half, right, to come in and sit there. We don't want to be bringing in Johnny Evans. We don't want to be bringing in Maguire. Maguire, who, by the way, was back in training yesterday. So at the end of the day, he's working with the group. No, we want these players in. That's why I'm adamant we need another centre-half, a young centre-half. And for me, Ligt fits the bill, Branthwaite fits the bill.
Yeah, you just leading me on to my next question for a discussion there is, will Man United give up the race now for Ligt? You know,
I don't think they will.
He will be on that right-hand side of defence, but, you know, if they still want to go out and get Ligt, I mean, it's looking strong then. It starts to look a lot stronger going into the new season, doesn't it, that centre-half position?
It looks strong, and it'll absolutely, really be the icing on the cake if we get another centre-half. And at the end of the day, it's either Ligt or Branthwaite, and it comes down to money. Are we going to increase and make a third bid for Branthwaite? Depending, well, it depends on sales, getting players out, and will they push for that second centre half? I think what they're looking at is a midfield player. To get him in first, and then they might just see who they get out over the next week or two, and depending on who goes over to that America tour next week, then any players what are left behind, then you can sort of say they're earmarked for sales. And obviously we've talked about Sancho. There's one or two other players what are out there, right, playing for the futures, and at the end of the day, they're out there to be seen, to be putting the effort in, and to be playing well, and to put themselves on the market, because that's what I believe in Sancho. So the quicker the suits do the job and remove these people, another centre-half and a midfield player, I'll tell you what a sum of that would be. I wouldn't have expected it. And you've got to give credit, centre-forward, centre-half, done already before the pre-season. It's not often we can say that, Kieran.
Yeah, Tushar, cheers for your super chat, mate.
Thank you.
Absolute blind to this one. I'm not satisfied. We need at least 5 more new signings to compete with the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool and Spurs. And I've got a feeling there's a lot of yous out there already getting your phones in your hand, and you're going to reply to that one. But your first thoughts on that? Well,
my first thoughts on that is forget them teams, right? You've got to look at City. You never mentioned City. Okay, that's the team. 5 more signings. Wouldn't that be great? 5 more signings. That would be great. But to get so many signings in, right, you're not going to get the start at the beginning of the season you'd want, because these people haven't got long to work together. We've got players in there, okay? I'm still not sure whether Amrabat's is still here. At the end of the day, there is lots of players here ready to start that season, okay, and kick right in. But at the end of the day, 5 more signings, not for me. I think too many can actually spoil what's going on. Nice and slow. 4, possibly 5 new recruits, and these 5 new recruits might not be playing every game anyway. A lot of these players, what they're looking at is potential.
You've also got to take into account of the absolute disastrous transfer business Manchester United have been doing over recent years, and FFP will come into account. So there's only going to be a certain limit of how many players we can actually bring in for a certain amount of transfer fees. And it's all about, like we mentioned earlier on, what's the business going to be like getting players out. Now, for me, if we was able to sell Maguire and Lindelof and then bring Ligt in, and you've got a back 4 choices, no, the centre-half choices of Ligt, Yoro, Martinez and Johnny Evans, I mean, let me know what you think. I'd be more than happy going into the new season.
Listen, I think that would leave us short for, to be honest. But hey, if that's the way it was by getting somebody ill and selling Maguire and Lindelof, then so be it. I'd take that all day long right now. Okay, leaving it for. I don't think it's adequate. I think what you've got to look at is Fish, who's been out on loan a couple of times. He's back at United now. Seen him the other day. See how he performs over the summer in the pre-season. And you never know. He just might bring Fish into the fold, as if to say, there's another backup. There's more education for you. Get him in the squad. And if that's how it is, I'd take that, because at the end of the day, this is a rebuild. This is a rebuild. And the quicker we get people out who aren't here for the long-term future, who can't adjust to the style of football, what's going on. I mean, we've got players there like Maguire, Lindelof, okay? Been good at stages, been poor at stages. But what you've got to look at, the football they started out at has completely changed. Completely changed. But time's running out for them. So I'd rather move on and bring in like Ligt or Branthwaite and, put Fish in. And I'd be happy with that at this moment in the time.
Yeah. Let me know what you think now. Do you expect Man United this week to maybe put that third offer in, though, for Branthwaite? Because, if God forbid, Martinez is out injured for, a long spell. There's no real cover there on that left-hand side unless you've got Luke Shaw, which, again, played 37 matches in the whole of last season, can't always be relied on to be match fit. So,
see, we've touched on the subject. We need a solid back four. So we can't be short in the back four. And that's why I believe another centre-half will come in. I think they have to make it, to cement it. I'm quite happy for the little experiment. First 6 months, first 12 months of INEOS's first full year and going for it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think you have to bring in another centre-half right in there, because it's all down to the goalkeeper, okay? He didn't have a good time last year. Players injured, coming out. He didn't know where. At times, I don't think he knew what was going on. And he did make some bad mistakes, so that didn't help him. So he needs that solid back four there. So that's why I say we should have at least, 5 centre-halves there. Johnny Evans being one of them. So at the end of the day, another centre-half has to come in. But we'll only get these players if we sell. If we sell. So it's all right, us sat here, yous out there, sat there saying we need this, we need that. But what we do need to see this week, okay, especially after the Rangers games and before they go, which is on Saturday, and before they go to America, we need to see players who are going out. And at the moment, there is conversations about some players, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof. So let's hope that they get moved on.
With him being a young lad, though, no experience outside of the French league, do you expect him to actually, when he's match fit, to actually get in the starting 11 straight away? Or do you think he'll actually bring him in gradually, Erik ten Hag?
I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be in there. I do not see any reason why he shouldn't be in there. When we've had to rely on Johnny Evans starting games, okay, and he's been comfortable with that, then this kid's been playing football. And all the scouts out there, all the people, I've seen comments there from other teams like Liverpool and that, what have looked at him, and they've said, this is a player, he's got the potential, he plays well, he can read the game proper, and he's an asset to the team. So I've no worries about bringing this kid in. And you've got that old saying, it doesn't matter how young a footballer is, if he's got it, he's got it. Well, everyone here at United seems to think he's got it.
Well, if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, good enough, you're old enough. And many other teams seem to think that he's good enough. So why not put him in?
Yeah, if Real Madrid think he's good enough, they were wanting him. There must be something really, there must be some real big potential about this footballer.
Listen, Duncan Edwards was a young lad when he played for United. Young centre-half, right? Dominant. I'm not saying he's built in any way. Yoro's built in any way like that. But what it is, he was young enough, okay? He was young, but he was good enough. And he was a brilliant player. Brilliant player, okay? I mean, he was playing for United the year I was born, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he was England material. This kid has got the same qualities of, like, potential going forward, building his muscle up and being stronger and then playing for his club. He's on the verge of playing for his country, I mean.
Yeah, and you could possibly see, even for the national team of France, a centre-back pairing of Arsenal, Saliba and Yoro going forward for them.
Yeah, I didn't, just so I don't get any abuse here, I didn't compare. All I did was compare Duncan.
It doesn't matter. People out there will say that you've compared him, even though...
No. I'm only comparing their ages to the position they played, okay? They were both young. So at the end of the day, if you're young enough, if you're good enough, it doesn't matter what age you are. And that just goes to show you in any era, any era of football, okay? In any era of football, it doesn't matter. If you're good enough, get in the team. And this kid's good enough. That's what I'm saying.
Are you Gidder? I'm getting...
I'm actually happy. No, I'm actually happy because I can see deals being done.
Yeah.
I can see deals being done. And I wasn't expecting it. I just thought it might drag on for another week before we had a potential signing. And now we've had two. And that's what's making me happy because the suits are doing the job. And I can see the people behind the scenes, right, are actually capable of moving us on. And it just takes away that negativity, what we've seen over the years with what's been going on inside United.
Midfielder next. Do you think that's where they'll be looking at?
I think that's where they're looking. Yeah, I think that's where they're looking at. I think it's a must for that midfield. I don't think that midfield's settled. I don't think it's right. I don't think it definitely did not work at all last year. The amount of times we was open, the people what were in it, doesn't matter if it was 3, 4, and you brought someone in and took someone out. They didn't do it right. The players weren't good enough to play the system the way Erik ten Hag want. And at the end of the day, I think another quality, I don't think the quality is quite right there. And we need to add to that midfield now.
How happy are you? Because I know you're getting a bit giddy with it, and I'm certainly getting giddy. It's a real positive news in the way they're getting the business done, not just concentrating on one player. It seems like they're actually going out there speaking to 1, 2, maybe even 3 players in certain positions as well. Yeah,
listen, they're doing the due diligence, and they are really the reports, what you see out there, you can't really rely on the reports that they're talking to this. I mean, according to the reports, I said it was 15 the other day. Looks like 25 players United have been talking to, but I take that with a complete pinch of salt. But at the end of the day, they are out there, and some of these reports are credible that they are doing the job and they are talking to potential signings and then potential signings, because all the reports and the stories what are coming back, some of them are going to require people to be sold, and that's the big problem now. Great news, everything looks hunky-dory in the background. People know what they're doing. The right people are in place and they're doing the job proper, and we're getting signings. And you can't ask for any more than that at this stage.
Yeah, at this stage, when you're looking at it with the fee that they're paying for Yoro as well, but we've already paid for Xerxes, I still think we need a midfielder. I would actually say that maybe this Branthwaite deal now is on the back burner, considering the actual fee that Everton want. And you can't really see Everton agreeing to any of that fee being staggered over, let's say, the course of Branthwaite's contract. I think they would want a huge lump of that up front as well. So for me at the moment, unless we do get any of the players shifted out and there's room there for him to come in, I can't see it happening, to be honest.
The only way I see that happening is if United sell and United just up the bid, another 5 million, Everton might be tempted. So that Branthwaite bid is clearly Everton want the cash. So it's down to United to sell a few players where they can get some cash in if they go for Branthwaite, but they might choose Ligt.
Yeah, a lot of people are positive about Yoro. I'm positive as well, and so you should be. You know, different times here from what we've been used to in recent years of Man United getting business done early, and it does look positive going forward as well. And the most important thing, they're backing the manager.
You've got to look at
a support unit there now.
Yeah, well, the back in the manager, they're doing everything right. And when you look at the team and how many youngsters are actually in it, that in itself is exciting. You know what youth like? They just carry on running. They want it. And at this moment, what we're seeing is these young players, they want it. And to add someone like who's 18 will clearly want it. The age of the squad is going down. And that's what INEOS want. That's what they're targeting. Because they believe that's the way forward. And to be honest with you, many United fans believe that. And I believe that that is the way forward. Okay? These kids have to do the business to get the rewards out of it.
I think you've got to look at, you know, when you were just mentioning about the average age of the squad, bringing that down. you've also got to look at the injuries, not just at Man United, around most of the Premier League clubs last season, because of the intensity is getting so high. Many of the Premier League managers have spoken about that last season, and that was the cause of many of the injuries. So some of these younger players, you know, the high intensity that Erik ten Hag wants to play,
they can do it.
It should only benefit the team in getting that correct on the pitch.
Well, I go back to what I said before about Maguire and Lindelof. This isn't their style of football. This isn't their speed, the way they run, the energy, what they need. Okay, they weren't brought up on that, and age is catching up with them, and that seems to be happening with quite a few players in and around the Premier League. So at the end of the day, 18, 19, 20, they're all geared up for it, and they've been geared up for it for a couple of years in the youth setups and everything, wherever they are. And it's the older players, right, what are suffering. And that's why INEOS just ain't doing it. They have got a right good strategy going forward. And let's hope it works and let everyone get behind it.
Just like to thank everyone for joining us today. Loads of positivity in the chat. Love to see that always around our football club. If you've enjoyed today's video, please smash a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Help support the channel as well. And we might be back later on this afternoon, so keep that notification on, because we might come back out around about 4 o'clock. 6 p.m.
Might have a midfield player.
Might even have a midfield player. Wouldn't that be great? But yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.